Now we're ready to build at our created stations. When I log in, either using my email credentials or allowing operators to sign in by giving them permission via manager access, I can see my list of stations available. This will ask me whether I'm building at a specific station or allow me to choose as needed. These stations can be bookmarked appropriately so you always navigate back to the right station if you are managing and building from a static location on the floor. If I navigate into each of these stations, I can see the available processes at each one. In this case, I have my brake pad calibration at my brake pad station, or if I go to my test station, I can see that calibration process or that seat post install that I also assigned. I'm going to go just to the brake pad calibration process. When I start my process here, there's a couple things I can do, including previewing a process to see what these steps actually look like by navigating through and seeing the sequence of steps that are going to be part of this process. Alternatively, when I click on this process, it's going to allow me to start this build whenever I'm ready. As soon as you enter this build, there's going to be a variety of different actions available to toggle through. In this case, I can see which user is signed in as a PICO user. I can pause and resume my build at any point if there's some questions about walking away from the screen. And I have my main images and content available here as well. So any point I need to refresh and use any of this information available to me, I can interact with my screen as needed. Navigating or swiping on a touchscreen will go to the next step in the process. If I hit this arrow here, it won't let me proceed until I've successfully completed all of these actions, these rectangles on each step. When I'm entering in that serial number, I'm looking for a specific 3-digit number with a character at the end as pictured here on the bicycle frame. So I'm just going to enter in that same number just so it's accepted here. And as soon as I enter this information, it'll automatically advance to the next step in the instructions. This allows us to enter this information and not have to swipe constantly or click around on the screen when I have completed that information available. When we set up those work instructions, we can see the linked content available. So when I pick up that brake pad distance, it'll show me the relevant information associated with it. So either adding in a new image or highlighting a section of that main image of what I'm measuring in particular. This is that measurement action that we set up that allows us to enter in that distance between those brake pads. I'm going to enter in a value that's too low. It'll reject it because it's below that minimum threshold that we entered when we configured the process. The same principle applies to that top level. As a supervisor or a manager, I can always come in and log in and bypass these actions or skip them if I need to return later on. So as a supervisor, I have the ability to come in and skip, which allows me to skip forward to the end of the process or return to it as needed, or bypass it and approve it as a supervisor. I'm going to put in a relevant measurement here just so I can continue my build. And as soon as I complete this last step in the process, and say I've done my quality inspection, I have the option of starting a new process or going back to my initial build screen to build something else. So now once these processes are at these stations, we can start building in sequence, either at a batch build perspective or an assembly low, and start managing all of our workflows and capturing our information directly and reviewing the data that comes out.